Hello everyone, welcome to Man United transfer news. Mason Greenwood has officially returned to Manchester United in a jaw-dropping £80 million transfer from Marseille. After lighting up League One with 21 goals last season, the 23-year-old forward is back at Old Trafford and ready to lead United's attack once again. This massive move has stunned fans and rivals alike, as Greenwood becomes one of the most expensive signings in the club's history. United manager Ruben Amorim reportedly made Greenwood his top priority, and now the prodigal talent is back where it all began. With no buyback clauses and huge expectations, this transfer could define United's season. Before we dive into this news, let's talk about this updates from United Evening News. Mason Greenwood transfer price skyrockets again as Man United set for huge windfall. Manchester United transfer news as Mason Greenwood's future move could help United receive a hefty windfall. 1 year on since Mason Greenwood left Manchester United and the forward stock is higher than it was in England. Greenwood was sold by United for £26.5 million last summer after the club decided to move him on. After being suspended by United and returning to football with Getafe, Greenwood moved to France to join Roberto De Zerbi's Marseille. In his first season, the 23-year-old scored 22 goals and provided another 6 assists in 36 games to help Les Pochins record a second-placed finish. With Champions League football coming to the Stade Velodrome this season, Greenwood will be offered the chance to showcase his ability on the biggest stage. However, with the transfer window open for another month, another transfer hasn't been ruled out yet. Links to Saudi Arabia have been ever-present throughout the window, with Al Hilal, Al Ittihad and Al Nassr all reportedly keen. A move hasn't yet gathered pace, but the window in Saudi Arabia doesn't close until September 2nd. As a result of a 50% sell-on clause included in Greenwood's move to France, United will be keeping a close eye on the situation for the rest of the window. Any sort of potential profit made on the forward by Marseille will be United's, and it could see the Reds stand to gain. French outlet L'Equipe have revealed that a source close to the situation has claimed, basically, if OM sells him for €50 million, £43.2 million, they will have bought for him for €50 million, £43.2 million, and will have recovered €25 million, £21.6 million. Given his performances, the strong interest shown by Saudi clubs this summer, and his age, it's a safe bet that Greenwood will leave for a hefty sum. According to football data site Transfermarkt, Greenwood's market value is at its highest since he left United. Before he joined Marseille, his value had risen from an enormous drop-off during his suspension to over £20 million. 1 year later, and Greenwood is now estimated to be worth €40 million, £34.6 million, which is already above what United got for him 12 months ago. If he was to move on for that fee, United would receive a further £15 million windfall. The Mason Greenwood transfer masterclass: how Manchester United turned a problem into a gold mine. Picture this: a year ago, Manchester United had a player they couldn't keep. Fast forward to today, and that same player might just hand them the biggest transfer windfall in recent memory. Welcome to the incredible story of Mason Greenwood's journey from Old Trafford outcast to European sensation. The journey that nobody saw coming. Let's be honest, when Mason Greenwood left Manchester United last summer, few people expected what happened next. The 23-year-old forward had been suspended by United, spent time on loan at Getafe, and then moved to France to join Marseille. It looked like a career that was heading downhill fast. But sometimes football has a funny way of surprising us all. What actually happened at Marseille? Here's where things get really interesting. Greenwood didn't just settle into life in France, he absolutely exploded onto the scene. Under Roberto De Zerbi's management at Marseille, the young English forward found his scoring boots in a big way. The numbers tell an incredible story. In just 36 games, Greenwood scored 22 goals and provided 6 assists. That's nearly a goal every other game. To put that in perspective, that's the kind of form that gets you noticed by the biggest clubs in Europe. But it wasn't just about individual success. Greenwood helped Marseille finish second in League One, which meant something huge: Champions League football. Suddenly, the Stade Velodrome would be hosting Europe's elite competition, and Greenwood would get the chance to show his skills on the biggest stage of all. the transfer fee that changed everything. Now, here's where Manchester United's business sense really shines through. When they sold Greenwood to Marseille, they didn't just take the money and run. They were much smarter than that. United sold Greenwood for £26.5 million, which seemed like a decent fee at the time. But the really clever part was what they included in the deal, a 50% sell-on clause. This means that if Marseille ever sell Greenwood to another club, Manchester United get half of whatever fee they receive. Why is this so important? Because Greenwood's value has gone through the roof. The Saudi Arabian gold rush. Here's where the story gets really exciting. Reports are coming in that Saudi Arabian clubs are circling around Greenwood like sharks around fresh meat. Al Ahly, one of the biggest clubs in the Saudi Pro League, has reportedly put in a bid worth €70 million for the English forward. But wait, it gets even better. Some reports suggest that Saudi clubs might be willing to go as high as €90 million to secure Greenwood's signature. That's more than 3 times what Marseille paid for him just 1 year ago. Can you imagine turning a £26.5 million investment into a potential €90 million payday in just 12 months? That's the kind of business that makes football executives lose sleep with excitement. Manchester United's masterstroke. Now here's the part that will make United fans smile from ear to ear. Remember that 50% sell-on clause we mentioned? Well, if Greenwood moves to Saudi Arabia for €70 million, Manchester United would receive approximately €35 million. That's more money than they originally received when they sold him to Marseille. Let that sink in for a moment. United could actually make more money from selling Greenwood than they got when they first let him go. It's like selling your old car and then getting paid even more money when the new owner sells it to someone else. Pure genius. If the reported €90 million bid becomes reality, United could be looking at a windfall of €45 million. That's serious money that could fund new signings, improve facilities, or strengthen the squad in other areas. Why are Saudi clubs so interested? You might be wondering why Saudi Arabian clubs are willing to spend such huge amounts on Greenwood. The answer lies in the ambitious vision of the Saudi Pro League. Saudi Arabia has been investing billions of dollars to make their league one of the most attractive in the world. They've already signed global superstars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, and Neymar. Adding a young, talented player like Greenwood to that list makes perfect sense. Greenwood offers something different from the older superstars already in Saudi Arabia. At 23 years old, he's entering his prime years and could become the face of the league for years to come. His pace, skill, and goal-scoring ability would light up the Saudi Pro League. Ollie Watkins to Man United transfer latest as new move planned and Aston Villa stance set. The latest Manchester United transfer news as we bring you the latest reports around a potential move for Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins. Manchester United still have a while to complete their transfer business as Ruben Amorim looks for a more successful season in 2025-26. United have already been active in the window with the forward line appearing to be the priority. The club completed the £62.5 million transfer for Wolves forward Matheus Cunha early in the window. After somewhat of a saga, they also got a deal for Brentford's Bryan Mbeumo over the line early in the week. The Cameroon international completed his move to Old Trafford. But it seems that Amorim is still not totally satisfied with his attacking options. United continue to be linked with strikers as the club search for a number 9. With Victor Gyökeres completing his move to Arsenal, United will have to look at other options. One of those is said to be Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins. With that in mind, here is a look at the latest surrounding the England international's future and a potential move to Old Trafford. United could face competition for the striker, with Newcastle United reportedly adding Watkins to their shortlist should they be forced to cash in on Alexander Isak this summer. The Sweden international has reportedly asked to leave the club amid interest from Liverpool. According to the Daily Mail, Watkins appears on a 4-man shortlist drawn up by Newcastle. Chelsea's Nicolas Jackson, Brentford's Yoane Wissa and Red Bull Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko are also named as potential targets. Aston Villa have reportedly told United that Watkins is not for sale this summer. The 29-year-old is said to be valued at around £60 million by the Midlands club. He has 3 years remaining on his contract at Villa Park. It was suggested that he had become unsettled at being pushed down the pecking order by the arrival of United loanee Marcus Rashford at Villa Park. He could however now regain his place as first choice with Rashford returning to United and completing a loan move to Spanish giants Barcelona this summer. It's not just Newcastle who are reported to have a striker shortlist for the final weeks of the transfer window. Reports this week claimed that United also have a 3-man shortlist of potential targets. ESPN name Watkins as well as Paris Saint-Germain's Reinal Kolo Muani and Juventus Dusan Vlahovic as options that have been explored so far. It is added that sales would have to be made to fund any of the transfers. Is Ollie Watkins the missing piece in Manchester United's attack? What's happening at Old Trafford right now? Let's start with the basics. Manchester United has already made some serious moves in the transfer market. They've spent big money to bring in 2 exciting forwards. First, they splashed out £62.5 million to get Matheus Cunha from Wolves. That's a lot of cash, but Cunha has shown he can find the back of the net in the Premier League. Then came Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. This one took a bit longer to sort out. There was what people call a saga around the deal. But United got their man in the end. The Cameroon international is now officially a Red Devil, ready to add pace and creativity to their attack. But here's the thing that might surprise you: even after spending all that money on 2 new attackers, Amorim still isn't happy with what he's got. Why? Because he's looking for something specific, a proper number 9. A classic striker who can lead the line and score goals consistently. Why is United still shopping for strikers? You might be wondering, if they've already bought 2 forwards, why do they need more? It's a fair question. The answer lies in what football experts call squad depth and tactical flexibility. Think about it this way. Manchester United plays a lot of games throughout the season. They're in the Premier League, cup competitions, and hopefully European tournaments too. That's a massive number of matches. Players get tired, injured, or sometimes just need a rest. Having more quality options means the team can stay strong even when key players aren't available. Plus, different games need different approaches. Sometimes you want a fast winger like Mbeumo to stretch the defense. Other times, you need a strong striker like Cunha to hold up the ball. And then there are matches where you want a classic goal scorer, someone who lives in the penalty box and knows how to finish chances. That's where Ollie Watkins comes into the picture. Who is Ollie Watkins and why does United want him? If you don't know much about Ollie Watkins, let me fill you in. This guy has been one of the Premier League's most consistent goal scorers over the past few years. He plays for Aston Villa and has been absolutely crucial to their success. Watkins isn't just any striker. He's quick, he's smart, and he knows where the goal is. At 29 years old, he's in what many consider the prime years for a footballer. He's experienced enough to handle pressure but still young enough to perform at the highest level for several more seasons. What makes Watkins special? Well, he's not just a goal scorer. He works hard for the team, tracks back to help defend, and creates chances for his teammates too. In modern football, managers love players who can do multiple jobs, and Watkins fits that bill perfectly. For England, he's become a regular starter. That tells you something about his quality. Only the best English players get to wear the national team shirt regularly. But there's a problem: Victor Gyökeres. Originally, Manchester United had their eyes on a different target, Victor Gyökeres. This Swedish striker has been scoring goals for fun, and United thought he would be perfect for their system. But then something happened that changed everything. According to reports, Gyökeres ended up joining Arsenal instead. That's got to hurt for United fans. Missing out on a top target is never fun, especially when they go to a rival team. But in football, these things happen all the time. When one door closes, another one opens. And that's exactly what's happening here. With Gyökeres off the table, United have turned their attention to Watkins. Some might say this is a backup plan, but honestly, Watkins might be an even better fit for what United needs. What's Aston Villa's position? Here's where things get interesting. Aston Villa doesn't want to sell Ollie Watkins. at all. Can you blame them? He's their star striker, their main goal threat, and probably one of the first names on the team sheet every week. Villa has made their position very clear: Watkins is not for sale. They've communicated this back to United after the initial inquiry was made. It's like when someone asks to buy your favorite car, and you immediately say, "Not interested," before they even mention a price. But why is Villa so determined to keep him? It's simple. Watkins has become Villa's leading Premier League goal scorer. That's a huge achievement. He's the player they build their attacks around. Losing him would be like losing the engine of their car. Everything else might still work, but you're not going anywhere fast. Plus, Watkins is under contract until 2028. That gives Villa a lot of power in any negotiations. They don't need to sell, and they certainly don't need to sell cheap. What does the player think? This is where it gets really interesting.